Habits to Goals podcast with Martin Grunburg. It's time to take control of your life. Are you ready to achieve goals faster and more consistently than ever before? You need the habit factor. You're listening to Habits to Goals, the podcast that helps you create the habits that lead to success. And here is Martin Grunburg.
All right, before we jump into this episode, I'd like to encourage you, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the Habits to Goals podcast. Do us, Henry and I, a huge favor, if you could please, leave a review. And finally, if you're new to the program, you're looking for a quick resource and a great tool, just text us at 33444. Again, that's 33444, and simply text 4 goals. That's the number 4, GOALS. So that's 4 goals to 33444. You'll be dialed in. You'll get the template right away. Now let's bring it back to this episode. All righty, we are back. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Martin Grunburg, and on the other line, the co-hostess, I can't say hostess with the mostest, the co-host with the most, Henry J. Evans. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing wonderful, and the host with the most, I think that's the coolest title I've had in a while, so I will take it, buddy.
Yeah, well, for lack of clearly zero creativity, there you go. Before we get into today's topic, would you like to kick off the GTR or defer to me?
I will defer to you on this one.
Sweet. Well, I'm just really pleased with the way the 28-day breakthrough course is coming together. And maybe I should be smart and hang a link off this episode, but I really like the way it's shaping up, and I've heard from some course experts that one of the worst things you could do is overwhelm people with too much, and you probably know all about this, too much information. So I'm now beginning to scale it back and spread it out. And anyways, that's my GTR. The 28-day breakthrough is on the way. What do you got?
Love it. Mine is, it's actually a program that I'm working on also. So that's actually very serendipitous of us. And it is, so I've got my 8-week small business marketing program where we walk people through a small business marketing blueprint.
Great.
And it's coming along really, really well. And it's live online now, and we got people that are going online and checking it out and signing up. So I'm really happy that it's moving in the right direction, which is really exciting.
Please make sure I have a link for that. I can attest to Henry's genius. And again, I've been to many of his events, and I've seen all his raving fans / students and graduates. So I'm glad to hear that, Henry. Hey, what is today's FAF? Do you have that?
I do. We're talking about how do you be more mindful, or how do you achieve more mindfulness?
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
Well, you have a few thoughts, or you want me to take a whack at this one?
Why don't you go first and I'll go second on this one?
Cool. So, first of all, I love the question, and I think we can all stand. It's funny to me. The first thing I want to say is, people, I'm talking to you, I don't know if I can put my hand around you, but I just want to say, as a friend, please embrace this idea that you can be mindful and at the same time have habits. So what I'm getting at is, and I've probably shared this story too many times, but one of these gurus told me, I don't believe in habit, I believe in mindfulness. And I'm like, well, I don't believe in the moon, but it's there and it's not. So habit's not going away. Habit is a terrific useful device that we all have ingrained in our system, and it allows us to conserve energy. And the real paradox and genius of habit is we construct habits mindfully so they serve us mindlessly, so to speak. So I know that's not the question of the day, but I'm trying to set it up. So for me, what I want to say is we can all, I think, stand to be more mindful, certainly at times, particularly, and maybe we do this as another episode, have habits about getting angry or something like that. So what I've liked to do, and I continue to think I'm practicing this over and over and over, is I will go to my senses. In other words, feel your feet, listen, go into silence. What is it you're smelling or hearing at the time? What I'm trying to say is dig deep into your senses, and that helps drive mindfulness.
That's a great one. And that's one that I don't do enough. And when you said that, I actually have my dog is on my lap, and I was like really like touching his fur and like being very mindful of that as I was listening. And it's, I kind of take this as trying very, very hard to be 100% wherever I am, be there. And if that means I'm out to dinner with somebody or out to lunch or breakfast or coffee, I really try hard not to look at my phone, not to be thinking about other things, but truly be present and in the moment and be an empathetic and attentive listener, which I think is becoming a lost art. I think especially if you look at, we both have girls who are kind of in the teenage realm, and, it's just, there's a lot of texting and, some phone calls, and just, it's very different than when we grew up on how there's so many distractions. So with whatever you're doing, whether it be, if you're on the phone, that's okay, but just be on the phone and be 100% present, and don't be trying to multitask and do 20 things at the same time, because you end up doing none of the 20 very well.
Yeah, that's good. That's really, really good stuff. And so you said listening to people, and that's one of your senses. It's this idea that really listening and even breathing. We have this joke on the golf course where if you're standing over like, a 3 or 4 foot putt and you become nervous or your mind's wandering too far in advance, like, am I going to miss? Am I going to make it? Or too far, in the past, you're thinking about a hole you blew. The idea is breathe. Breathe. So the joke on the course is somebody stands over a putt. I'm usually always yelling, breathe.
You got to do it. It's so important. And I think that oftentimes if you just stop at any point during your day and take 5 deep breaths where you really focus on, when I do that, I focus on white light and kind of clean white energy going in, and then expelling any negative gray energy out when I breathe out. And if you do that 5 times and you're really mindful and present when you do it, boy, is it a huge, not only stress reliever, but just resets you to be in the present moment and be in a much better state than you were before. I just find it works amazingly well.
Wow. Yeah, I love the visuals you can add to the breathing, just the imagery. That's a great tip. So the last thing, because I think we're a little pressed on time, at least from my end, is I was talking about the senses thing, and I'm reminded there's I think a psychology study. It's about a raisin, but it could be anything. It's like, what does it look like? Like, imagine focusing on a raisin and just really getting into what is it? What does it look like? What does it taste like? Again, all the senses. How does it weigh? Just studying it, bringing your entire concentration and your focus to a moment in time or a singular topic is a way to be more mindful. I said that was going to be the last thing, but there's one other thought. It's water. For me, and there's probably too much water in my ears, and I probably spend too much time soaking in it in the ocean. But water, whether I'm in it or I'm looking at it or I'm listening to it, I think it has a history of helping people become more mindful. So that's it for me, at least for now. Henry, you have any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, just one last thing on that water front is that was one of the biggest things I learned from one of my first mentors was, you typically get your best ideas when you're around water, you're in the shower, you're in the pool, you're in the ocean, wherever you might be. And I find that, there's a lot worse things you can do than actually take a shower or take a bath or go for a swim. And just be around the water. It really helps you think better, especially if you're fortunate, to live by a body of water. I think that's kind of the best of all worlds, whether it's a lake, stream, ocean, whatever you got, go get close to it and it'll help you think better.
Beautiful. Yeah. I spent a lot of time soaking in the big blue ocean. Well, thank you, Henry. I think that will help the reader/listener, maybe with a few tips on mindfulness. That was another great question. We always encourage readers to send those in. And if you're not on the mailing list, listen to the back end of this. You'll find out how to do that. All right, Henry, we gotta pull the plug on this one. Thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you, listener, for subscribing and leaving a review. And Henry, you got anything before you split?
Nope, love it. Thanks so much, buddy. We'll talk to you real soon.
Great job again. Thank you, sir. Today's episode is brought to you by Audible.com. There are over 180,000 titles to choose from. If there's one thing I know, and I think Jim Rohn was the one who said this originally, in 5 years, the difference in your life will be largely based upon two things: the books you've read and the relationships you have fostered. Doesn't it make sense to take advantage of the downtime, whether you're on the road, on a run, in the gym, kill a couple birds with one stone, get a book going? It's phenomenal. The more people I turn on to it, the more compliments I get. Not that I've actually done anything. 180,000 titles to choose from. You get one free book a month, 30% off any other book. Again, check it out. audibletrial.com/habits to goals. I'm going to say that again real quick. audibletrial.com/habits to goals. And that is the number 2. So thank you again. I am extremely grateful. We'll see you at the next episode.